بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين أما بعد. This is just going to do a short biography of Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Yaqoubi, father of Sheikh Muhammad Al-Yaqoubi. So I'd like to just start off with just going through his lineage, because his lineage is known. There's quite a lot of information that's available actually. I managed to get this piece of document that was given out in 2005, and it's massive really, and it probably take 2 or 3 days to go through. So I know you guys are hungry, so I'm not going to do that. But what we're going to do first is just go through his lineage, and then we're just going to talk briefly about his biography. So his biography is taken from the lovers of Sheikh Muhammad Al-Yaqoubi, who's also a known Shadli as well. And he has links to Ibrahim Al-Yaqoubi as well, from one of his teachers as well. Let's start off. So his name is Ibrahim Ismail ibn, so I'm going through his lineage now. So Ibrahim ibn Ismail ibn Muhammad Al-Sadiq ibn Muhammad Al-Hassan ibn Muhammad Al-Arabi ibn Ahmad ibn Baba Habbi ibn Hadri ibn Abdul Qadir ibn Mizan ibn Muhammad ibn Hassan ibn Muhammad al-Saghir ibn Ibrahim ibn Yahya ibn Ahmad ibn Salih ibn Idris ibn Abi Yaqub ibn Abi Muhammad al-Hassan ibn al-Jawadi ibn Ahmad ibn Abdul Qadir ibn Yahya ibn Umar ibn Abi Qasim ibn Hussein ibn Ibrahim ibn Abdul Qadir ibn Arabi ibn Salih ibn Sa'id ibn Umar ibn Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Hussein ibn Ali ibn Idris and Anwar. Idris and Anwar, for some of you might know that Fez was founded by Idris and Anwar. Ibn Idris al-Akbar was the father, and he was one of the first ones to leave Medina and go to what is now known as Morocco. So Ibn Abdullah ibn Mahad ibn Hassan al-Muthanna ibn Hassan al-Sabt ibn Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib Rabi' Khalafa Rashidin wa ibn Amma Sayyid Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wa Ummahu Sayyidata Fatima al-Kubra bint Sayyid al-Kawnain wa Nabi al-Thaqalain wa Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Rasulullah Khatam al-Nabiyyin wal Mursaleen. So that just gives you an idea that that is lineage. So he's Hassani Sayyid. Most of the Shali awliya were Ahlul Bayt from some side. Most of them Hassani Sayyid. I'm just going to read from the Arabic here. وهو إبراهيم ابن إسماعيل ابن محمد ابن حسن اليعقوبي الحسني الجزائري أصل هاجر جده محمد الحسن إلى دمشق مع بعض الشيخ 1363. So his name is Ibrahim ibn Ismail. So Ibn means son of, and Ismail is father, and Muhammad al-Hassan was the grandfather. So he was originally from Algeria, and his grandfather left for Damascus with a lot of the scholars. So they left because there was French occupation in Algeria, and it was very difficult for a lot of Muslims in that time. So a lot of the there was like a migration of a lot of scholars who left, and they all went to Damascus in Syria. ولد رحمه الله تعالى بدمشق ليلة الأضحى سنة 1343. So he was born, may Allah show him mercy, in Damascus on this night actually, in Damascus, in the year 1922. وقد أخذ علم عن مشايخ كثيرين ومنهم قد كان أولهم والده Sheikh Ismail. So he took from many of the scholars of his time, and the first of those was his father, Sheikh Ismail. وقد لقنه وهو صغير مبدع العقيدة والقرآن الكريم. So he started his journey when he was small, studying Islamic belief and the Quran. وشيخ مصطفى الجزائري لقنه مبادئ العلوم. And so he studied with Sheikh Al-Mustafa Al-Jazairi, also on the starting of other sciences of knowledge. وشيخ محمد علي الحجازي الذي حفظ على أكثر القرآن الكريم. So at the hands of Muhammad Al-Jazairi, he memorized most of the Quran. So this was when he was young. ومرشد شيخ محمد الهاشمي الذي أجازه حطه إجازة عام. So he took spirituality, if you want to say it, or tasawwuf, from Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hashimi, and he gave him permission. He got permission from Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hashimi, and he got a general ijaza as well. So the Shadli tariqa that came from is from Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hashimi. And Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hashimi, as some of you might know, is the teacher of Sheikh Abdurrahman Shakhuri. And when Sheikh Ibrahim was nervous, he was going to give a lecture, because he started doing khutbah when he was when he was 16. He was very nervous about giving a khutbah. And Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hashimi said, "You open your mouth and I'll speak." So he went, and then that's what happened. So Sheikh Muhammad al-Makki al-Katani الذي وراء عن طريق الحديث المسلسل كالحديث الرحمة والمشابكة والمصافحة وحديث معاذ بن جبل رضي الله عنه والله إني لا أحبك وأجازه بحط المرتين. So he also got permission from Muhammad Maliki al-Katani to narrate many hadiths, like the hadith of mercy and other hadiths, like basically it was the way they were narrated. There were certain hadiths that they were narrated in a certain way, like if someone like the hadith of Mu'adh ibn Jabal, I think it was the Prophet held the beard of Mu'adh ibn Jabal, so they did that. The people who narrated it, when they narrate the hadith, they did it in the same way. So he took that from Sheikh Muhammad al-Katani, and similarly Sheikh Muhammad al-Katani's family is also very famous scholarly family as well. He was one of the major scholars of his time as well. قد قرأ على يد محمد الصالح فالفو مؤسس معهد الفتح الإسلامي قرأ عليه علوم كثير. At the hands of Sheikh Muhammad al-Salih al-Farfour, who was the founder of Mahad al-Fath. Mahad al-Fath was it still is the major Hanafi school in Damascus. So, and also Sheikh Ibrahim had a major, had a role in helping that foundation. So he studied under many things under him, like Shah ibn Aqil, Alfiya ibn Malik. So Alfiya ibn Malik is one of the high books in Arabic grammar, and Jawahir al-Balagha, and that's rhetoric. Wala Sheikh Abdul Wahhab, not that one, this is Hanafi. He was known as Hafiz Shahir Dubs al-Zayd, so he's known as that, but he studied under him. He got permission for him. لقد أجازه شفوي مرات وتوفي آخر رحمه الله قبل أن يجزي الشيخ كتابيا. So he gave him permission to teach verbally, and he actually passed away before he could actually give it to him as a physical, as writing down, because you can get permission verbally and you can get permission actually writing down. So the writing down is actually stronger than the verbal permission. وكان الشيخ عبد الوهاب يقول إذا أردتم أن تسألوا عن حكم في مذهب الحنفي ولم تجدني فسأل الشيخ إبراهيم اليعقوبي في المحراب المالكية في جامع الأموي. So this is probably one of the most famous things that's said about Sheikh Ibrahim al-Yaqoubi. He was a master in the Maliki field, and his teacher said that if you want to ask me about a ruling in the Hanafi madhab and you don't find me, then ask Sheikh Ibrahim al-Yaqoubi, and he's in the mihrab, the Maliki mihrab in the Masjid al-Umayyah in Damascus, because that was a place where Mu'adh ibn Jabal used to teach. So they would go, and it's on the left-hand side of the Jami Umawi. وعلى Sheikh Muhammad Ibn Yusuf Al-Abidin قرأ بعد رسائل Ibn Abidin. So at the hands of Sheikh Muhammad Abi Yusuf Al-Abidin, he read many letters of Ibn Abidin. So Ibn Abidin was one of the major scholars in the Hanafi madhab. So he read quite a high level. That's quite a high level. And he said, خلفتني في فقه وأصول Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Yaqoubi. So he says, I've left a successor in Islamic law and principles, and that's Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Yaqoubi. That's big praise from. And Sheikh Muhammad Abi Yusuf Al-Abidin was the Mufti of Syria. So it's big. It's a big shout, really. So حفظ متون كثير وزاد مجموع على 25,000 بيت منها. So he memorized lots of concise texts, more than 25,000 lines of poetry. So we don't really understand that very well, because what they used to do in the old days, I mean they still do this now, but it's sort of lost a little bit, which is that you'd summarize a text in a few lines, and then you'd go study the text, all of it, and then you'd memorize some points. So he memorized 25,000 lines, which is quite a lot. So some of the things he memorized was Alfiya ibn Malik, Al-Jawhara fi Tawheed, Al-Bayquni fi Mustalah, Rahbiya fi Al-Fara'id. So he studied Alfiya ibn Malik in Arabic grammar, Jawhar Tawheed in Aqidah, Islamic belief, and Bayquniya in Mustalah al-Hadith, which is what makes hadith, and starting from there, and Rahbiya fil Fara'id, which is inheritance. لقد بدأ بالتدريس دون 20 في جامعة السنباشة. So before he was 20 years old he started teaching. ودرس في معهد الفتح الإسلامي وغيره. So he taught in معهد الفتح الإسلامي and others. وشغل إمامه مالكية ثم حنفية بجامع أموي. So then he was made the Imam of the Malikis, then the Hanafis in the Mushd al-Mayya. ودرس وخطب مدة تزاد على 53 عام. وحج الفرائض مرة واحد في سنة 1392 على طريق البحر ولم يحاج سواها. So he taught and gave khutbah many times for more than 35 years. So he had 35 years of teaching and delivering lessons. And he went to Hajj once in 1971 on foot, because that's what they used to do in the old days. They used to go on Hajj on foot. So I don't think I'll be able to get down the street really, but anyway. So كتر كثير من كتب ومعرفات من عقيدة إسلامية وفرائض حسن في العقيدة أهل الإيمان وهم مطبوعان. So he left many books that he'd authored. He authored a book about Aqidah, which is فرائض حسن في العقائد أهل الإيمان, and it's printed. ونور الفرائض في علم المراث والفرائض, and so he wrote a book about inheritance and how people inherit. And he wrote a manzuma في الآداب البحث والمناظرة, and he wrote a small work on the manners of research and debate. ثم حقق مجموعة في المحفوظات منها الحكم العطارية أحادية أنباء العباد في أحكام الصلاة أنوار في شمائل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم المختار في للبغوي. So he also did a tahqiq, which is just finding out, you'll have a text and where's the quote from, where's the hadith from, where's the Quranic quote from. So he did that on quite a few texts like Hikam al-Ata'iyya, so the Hikam of Ibn Atar al-Askandari, and other works. I work on the rules of prayer. Probably one of the best works in Shama'il, which is Imam Baghawi's work, which is 2 big volumes like this. It's probably the best work in Shama'il I've ever read. And the work he did that is incredible actually, because he did it before all this sort of stuff, because in the old days they would have handwritten manuscripts. You wouldn't have you don't have the luxury of these sort of books. You'd have to, go to like, handwritten manuscripts. It would take a long time to find them. And, it took a long time, and eventually, that was the last thing he did, actually. And in his, Sheikh Muhammad then wrote a small introduction to it as well. And then it was released after he passed away. But it really is a major piece of work, really. وقواعد التصوف للشيخ أحمد الزروق. And so he also did on the basis and the principles of Tasawwuf by Ahmad Zarruq, Sheikh Ahmad Zarruq, who's also in the Tariqah. ومن محفوظات قواعد الوداع في العقيدة أهل السنة والغراء. So he did another work on عقيدة ومعارض الأفكار في ميزان العقول وأنظار في المنطق. So he did a work on logic. So this is heavy work. This is not baby stuff. التذكير هي ثبت في أسانيد وشيوخ له الديوان والشاعر بإضافة إلى أضعاف النشر في بعض الدورات. So he did quite a lot of work on the chains of narration, affirming the chains of narrations of scholars who had many works of poetry, in addition to research and topics on some periodicals as well. So it's his heavy work, really. محمد بن عبد اللطيف الفارفور رسالة الصفحات المشرقات وذلل الرافات في حياة العلماء الشيخ إبراهيم اليعقوبي. So some of this is mentioned in that text about Sheikh Muhammad Al-Yaqoubi. There's quite a lot of stuff that's in Arabic, but it's very. This one's I couldn't read. Some of it's printed not very great, and it's probably the best I could get it. So I couldn't really go through a lot of it. So that's why I've chosen to go to the short one, really. وكان رحمه الله يجتنب الناس إليه ويؤلفهم نحو. Avoided sort of people a lot, but he was nice with them when they came. ولكن توارد العلماء وسمتهم. So he had humbleness of the scholars, and he had their signs. ولا hadith, so he had soft words, so he wouldn't speak harshly. ولا يميز نفسه على الآخرين, so he wouldn't big himself up over others. I don't know how to put that in better English, but he wouldn't make himself, oh yeah, look at me, and then push everyone down. So he wasn't up to that sort of things. ويقبل عليهم بكلية إذا زراه. So he would help them if they would come and visit him. ويمتنعهم بحديث الآداب. So then he would give them joy by giving them sweet words. ولا يميلهم منهم. ولا يتململ في أسئلتهم التي يجيب عليه بالوضوح والتفصيل وجواب العالم المتقن الشافي. So he didn't get bored of them, and he never tired of their questions from answering their questions, and he answered them clearly in detail with the answer of a clear scholarly answer. ومع هذا هو يحب العزلة ويميل إليه. So he used to like being on his own, and he used to like it because Urzula, what we mean Urzula is that they used to be on their own, and they used to make dhikr and things like that. So they in those days. And then he said, يقول لولا علم وطلب العلم لما قابلت من الناس أحدا. So if it wasn't for knowledge and seeking knowledge, I'd never meet any people. وحب الوقت التي ساعتين. So I like two times. There's 2 times that are beloved to me. وساعة الدرس يتلذذ فيها بالعلم. A time where the sweetness of knowledge is tasted. وساعة نجوى بيقضيها بذكر الله تعالى. And the moment in which that passes with the passionate dhikr of Allah. وكان شيوخه الذي درس عليه يجلبونه ويحترمونه ويحبونه ويصلون رأيه في بعض المفاضلات التي تشمل عليهم. So the scholars used to study with him, and they used to consult him and respect him and love him and ask him about some of the tough issues that they were facing. كان صاحب ترجمة مصابا بضيق الصمام التجائي نتيجة الإرهاق والتعب. So then he got illness, and it was a sort of tightness in the chest. So it was some sort of heart problem because of fatigue and tiredness. ولما زاد مرضه بقي في داره متفارغا لتأليف الافتتاح. So then when it got to a level that he couldn't continue, he stayed in his house and continued to write and issue fatwa. وقد فاته بأيام ازداد مرضه فنقل إلى المستشفى. Towards the time he was going to pass away, he was moved to the hospital. وتوفى ليلة الجمعة في 26 ربيع الأول عام 1406. So he passed away on the 9th of Jummah, on the 26th of Rabi al-Awwal, 1985. وفي مستشفى حيث غسل أنباءه وصلي عليه والد الأكبر محمد أبو هدى في جامع أموي. So he passed away in the hospital, and he was washed by his sons and prayed over by his eldest son, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Yaqoubi, in the Mosque of Damascus, Jamia Umawi. And شرعي في جنازته حافلة في المقبرة باب الصغير. So his funeral procession was led to the grave that's called Bab al-Saghir. Bab al-Saghir is one of the famous graves in the older part of Damascus, and lots of scholars are buried there. Quite a lot of Sahaba are buried there. Sayyidina Bilal is buried there. Some of the wives of the Rasulullah are buried there. Some of the Shuhada of Karbala are buried there as well. So there's loads of it's a blessed land to be buried. So he was buried there. Alayhi rahmah. Yeah, so that's just a taste of his life, mashallah. And that's what tonight was all about, just to respect the Sheikh and just send some blessings his way, inshallah. And to me, the greatest miracle of Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Yaqoubi is his son. So that's why I've said that a lot. But نستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو حي القيوم وأتوب إليه. نستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو حي القيوم وأتوب إليه. نستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو حي القيوم وأتوب إليه. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا إن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لتكونن من الخاسرين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. Allah, please bless all the awliya of Tariqa Shadli, and all the awliya of all the Tariqa. Allah, please bless our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family and his offspring. Allah, please help all the Muslims wherever they are, and give them victory and give them support, and help all those who are suffering, and bring relief to all their pain, and give them patience in the tribulations they face. Allah, please accept this gathering from us and send blessings onto our Sheikh Muhammad Al-Yaqoubi, and especially his father Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Yaqoubi, and all the awliya of Shadli Tariqa. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربي رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سورة الفاتحة.